Hi everybody! Today I just received my SENTRO knitting machine 40 needle. So I will share with you the unboxing. So I open it. The box was not very well packed, so I was a little bit scary. See, there's a bump over there. Another one here. And another one there. So let's see if I open it, if it's gonna be okay or not. Could get my needle, not my little knife. Oh, it's open. Remove that. I have the little booklet to tell us how to do it, but I really don't need it. But it will explain. It's in Chinese though. And I'm not sure if it was in English too. I don't remember. But the booklet is there and well explained. So I put that aside and I will show you what else I have in my little box. There. This is how to fix your little feet on your machine. Open that. Oh, I have 3 balls of yarn and this little needle with the, I don't know how to call that. It's a knitting needle with something, circle needle and needle, something like that. And I have a screwdriver, a tensioner, 4 feet, and a little hook and 2 needle. Wool needle. So I will fix that. I will do that here. Sorry for the noise. And the other one, the third one, and the 4th one. A little test. It's a little bit dust of the styrofoam, and it's up right there. So don't panic if it's happened to you. It's only the little switch on the side that was set on flat panel instead of the tube. So I put the tensioner on the bottom, and I have those little thing that suck on the table, but I never use that. So I will cast on my yarn. Sorry we didn't get the cast on the video because my light died on me and I was looking for a new one and I forgot to put the record. So I did the cast on and forgot to record it. So I put the new yarn for my project. And if you have problem with that, I will put a link in the video description and you will see what is a cast on technique. So I crank, everything's fine. That machine is it feel like a toy, but it do well for the knitting with the yarn they sent it with me for now. So I will continue to say how I feel about that machine. So I got my black needle. I will cut my yarn. I did my 15 rows of blue. Put my yarn in the middle. Fix it there. Come with the new yarn. I will use the off-white or beige. I don't know how to say it in English. In French is beige. Maybe it's off-white or something like that. Anyway, doesn't matter. So I hold the 2 pieces of yarn to make sure that it get in the hook of the needle. I will go slow to show you guys how I did. Very slow, so that way when you do a color change you don't end up with a drop stitch. So that's it. And right there you could attach those two together. but for some reason I didn't do it. I will do after one rows, but it's okay, it's still good, don't worry. So I will attach it here. There's no row counter on the 40 needle machine. It's not like the 48, but still I did a small project, so it's easy to keep the count in your mind. So I did that. I do a color change. I do really quick, but I will give you the recipe later on, so don't worry. Right there, I just show you guys how to do color change, and then I will show you how to do the cast off with some waste yarn. What is waste yarn? Waste yarn is the yarn that will help us to sew our tube hands and create some square. Easy. So there, cut the pink. I did the 20 rows of pink, and then I come back with some waste yarn. You don't attach the waste yarn with your project yarn, so just make sure you hold it like this, and it been grabbed by the needle correctly, and I will go and crank my machine. Oh, the hook was that needle was not grabbing the yarn, so I will use my loom hook to lift it a little bit, because if you go the opposite sides, you're gonna have some drop stitch and you don't want it, especially at the end of your project like this. So make sure all the yarn go and being grabbed by the peg or the needle or the hook, so you don't attach those two together, and then you crank. And when with waste yarn, you will crank till the machine releases it by itself. It's like magic. So usually I do 5 rows of waste yarn when I start, and 5 rows of waste yarn when I cast off. So it will be time to put the waste yarn in the middle, the tail, and it will remove by itself. Sorry for the light, my light died on me today. So that's the recipe: 5 waste yarn, 15 blue, 5 of white, and 20 pink, and 5 waste yarn there. And I use the yarn that come with the machine to do the pair of the little mitten. So I keep the recipe on the screen for now, so hope you take the note in your notebook for next time. So time to stretch and to make sure that your knot are very secure. Cut it never too close to your project, always like more than an inch. And there's a little step here. I will show you how to hide it so you didn't end up with that little step showing when you're done with your mittens. So you will go and put that in the middle like this, and you won't see it. Put that aside for now, and I will show you how to cast on your machine. You didn't see it at the beginning, so make sure it's on tubular or circular mode, and you put your yarn. I forgot to put the tension on it. Oh, wrong side. I never use it, so I just put it for the video, because I like to feel it with my 2 fingers for the tension, but that's me. So I will put it there after. I will show you how to cast on. First you have to find your black needle, and you will go in front, in a back, in front, in a back with the first row only. When you're done the first row, it's not easy though, because I don't have a lot of light, so I was struggling a little bit, but I hope you understand that. I was too excited to take time to find a new light, So I end up doing the video even there's no light, or little light but not enough. Almost finished my first row, and then I put that on in the yarn feeder, and I will ready to crank with my waste yarn. That waste yarn I will do at least 5 rows. Waste yarn is very important to use a different color that you don't use in your project, so that way it will be easy to find the stitch when you close it to do a square at the end. So I did the 5. I bring some off-white or beige, put my waste yarn in the middle, bring my off-white yarn just in the same place, see, and I will hold their 2 tails together just a little bit like that. Make sure that it's been grabbed by the needle, and then I will be able to crank. Never attach a waste yarn with your project yarn. So I will do 12 rows with the off-white. Time to cast off. Cut the beige or the off-white, put that in the middle, bring back your waste yarn, there, in this case is a pink. So for the waste yarn, just put that aside of the off-white, and I will just crank. Hold it, make sure everything's grabbed correctly. Put it in the tension and crank for at least 5 rows. When you got your 5 rows, your machine will release your project. Sometimes you have to use your hook, loom hook, to remove some stitches that get stuck in the machine. So times to stretch. Oh, sorry. So for the sewing, we always start at the opposite way of the tail. If you end up with your tail on the right, you will start on the left. So, and I use a hook number 4 or number 5 depending of the yarn. So I grab the first one and I go one side and the other side. If you're not comfortable with the hook, I will put a link in the video comment of YouTube, and I will show you 5 different way to close a tube. And if you're not familiar with the hook, just use the method number 3. It's with the wool needle, and maybe you'll be more comfortable to close your tube like this for now till you get more comfortable with the hook. It will give you some option to make different project even if you're not comfortable with hook. So I continue, and when I arrive at the end like this, I make sure that I grab all the stitches. Really important, because if you miss one, you're gonna end up with the drop stitch, and it's not fun. There's a little tip here. I use my wool needle to bring my tail where I want it to be, to close my line of hook crochet. So I do like this, and I will remove the waste yarn now. Oh, what a mess. Oh, sometimes it happens like that, and sometimes it's so easy. It's depending what side, if it's the beginning or the ending of your work. Like here was a drop stitch that got stuck between the yarn, and I will show you how to fix that. It's happened. See, it's happened even to me. So we'll take the hook and grab my stitch, grab the other one, get it, and go on the top and get it in, and tip with the wool needle again, bring your yarn where you need it, like this, and you will be able to close your work correctly. Pull on it. There. And I will use my wool needle to do a loop and do a knot on it to secure everything. There. So it's done for the thumbs, and I will have to hide those little tail inside the double layer. So that's the recipe for the thumbs. 5 waste yarn, 12 of white, and 5 waste yarn again. So I will remove, not remove, but time to close the thumbs. I come back with the body of my mitten again. You see the little step is inside, so I will fold it in half at the end, so that way you won't see the little step. So times 2, close that tube. Maybe you will see better on this one because it's bigger than the thumbs. And grab one stitch in the middle, and then you go on one side and on the other side. Grab one on one side. Make sure it's always the one that the highest one, because if you don't take the right one, you're gonna end up like a drop stitch. You don't want it. There. They are flexible, but sometimes time consuming, so it's not fun. So I put my hook in there and come back with the stitch. Go get a stitch and come back in. Go get the stitch and come back in. So we continue like that, and you will do the same thing on the other side when you finish this closing. But very important, when you finish this closing, before you go close the other side, make sure your work is straight, because you will need that to be straight to be able to do the mattress stitch when you fold it after. If you don't have it straight, it won't work correctly. It will look crooked or twist and won't look good. So be careful to work correctly all your mitten. So I grab my other stitch here. There. If you're still here right now, on the comment, can you put a smile or write the words smile? It will give me an idea how long people watch the video. It helped me for the next video. Make sure that it's not too long or too short. Just to give me a little statistic of what people think about how long is my video. So I continue like that, almost at the end. But for now, I think that machine worked very well for me. But it's the first try, and I didn't try yet with other kind of yarn. I wonder it's gonna be the same thing that with my SENTRO 48. Sometimes one machine is very fussy for some yarn, and another one could work very well on another machine, and for some reason can't work on the same kind but not the same numbers of needle. So grab all the stitches almost at the end. Very important. There's a little tip here. Use the hook, loom hook, to grab your stitch when they're too tight. And when you end up with the tail in the middle of your work like this, you grab your wool needle, pick close to the tail, and bring it, your tip of wool needle, close where you want it to go out. Like this. There. So stretch, and then it's time to close. I feel bad because the light is very wrong for that video, but hope you understand it. My next one will be better. I just got myself a new light. So it's time to remove the waste yarn. Waste yarn, sometimes it's easy, sometimes not. It's depending of the beginning or the ending of your machine. This side need to be removed the first row like this, and then you could pull it easily. I try to save my waste yarn for some other project every time, so that way yarn is not really waste, but it get used a couple of times. So remove it, all done, and now it's time to straight up your work. Make sure you don't have any drop stitch like that, and I will fix it. Make sure it's not crooked, and that I will be able to follow one line with my mattress stitch when I do the sewing. So the step is inside. See, the line is there, so it will be easy to do the mattress stitch. Sometimes people say, oh, I don't know how come my mattress stitch is always twisted. It's because probably you didn't take the time to fix it, to put it straight before you do your work. The other side. So I did both sides of the mitten are closed. Now it's time to do the mattress stitch on the thumbs. And don't worry, I know I'm not in the right angle to be watched correctly with the video, but I will take time on the body of the mitten after to show you how to do the mattress stitch correctly. So I don't see myself in the little camera when I film myself. It's only like an inch wide, so I'm almost blind, so I don't see that. Okay, I'm not almost blind, but I don't see when it's too small. I'm too busy to do something, I don't pay attention. That's why I'm not blind. Don't worry. It's only a way to talk, an expression. So time to close that side and do a little loop, or maybe not. No, I just did a little double knot. Like this. And this side I will do a little loop to close it. So now it's time to close the tip of the thumbs. I just use the tips of my needle to grab just half of the stitch, not the full stitch, just half of it. Why? Because it's going to be clumsy if you use all the stitch completely, the complete stitch. Just use half the V. Just grab one side of it and go to the other side, and you will pull on your two tail to close it. Do a double knot so you have your tip of the thumbs closed. Time to hide those little tail between the two layers. Like that. If you still hear, write pom-pom in the comment. Will mean you listen 24 minutes. Yeah, that's right. You're here with me for 24 minutes right now. So those are hide. So times to go back with my mitten. Hide those little tail too. Cut and do the same thing here. And cut, and that's it. And make sure you put the step inside so that you won't see on your project at the end. So I straight up my work again, make sure that I got one line to follow with my needle to do a perfect mattress stitch and invisible seams. So I grab one side and I go on the other side, and I will keep the same line all the way. Okay, little tip, you hold it between your finger and thumbs and it's easier. but that technique takes some practice, so don't worry if you mess up a little bit, but try to stay straight on the same line, okay? Because if you don't, it won't look cute. It will crook and twist. But when it's the first one, it's okay though, don't worry. But if it's something that you want to sell or to give to your grandkids or your neighbor's kids, just take time to do it correctly. They will appreciate. So I grab 2 stitch one side, 2 stitch on the other side, and you notice I don't tighten it right now, because if I do a mess up, it's gonna be easier to fix like this than if I go tight like that already. And to tighten it, you just pull on one side and pull on the other side, and you see it's invisible. It's look great. So for the thumbs, I will stop at the beige or the off-white. That's why I put the 5 rows. It's gonna be the same amount that I need to put the thumbs at the end. So I skip the off-white like this, and it will end up with the old, and it's okay. That's what I need. And I go on the other side, and there you could secure and do a knot, or continue like this. Do your mattress stitch till the end of the mitten. So you grab 2 on side, 2 on the other side, and you grab like in the middle of the stitch, there's a little bar. You grab those 2 bar, and then you continue. 2 on one side, 2 on the other side. Make sure that you don't get like in the middle of the yarn, because it's gonna be hard to pull at the end if you do that. I will show you, because I did that. I will show you how to fix it. So if it happened to you, don't worry, it's fixable. See, I will pull on it and it won't close. It's because me didn't see, it's tight, but it won't close. So I will take my loom hook and fix that. Just go there and pull on it, and it will release it. There, pull. There. Nice, it's work. So it's happened to you, you just take your loom hook and pull on it. I stretch here with my finger, and I will release. It's stuck there. That's the place it was stuck. The yarn was like in the middle. Now it's fixed. Time to close it and secure. And now I do like with the thumbs, just grab half of the stitches with the tip of my needle, and I will do all around till I get to the other end. And I will show you how to fix, like when you pull on it and you still have like a little hole. I will show you how to fix that. Almost there. Pull, and sometimes it's happened like that. You get a little hole in the middle. I will show you how to fix that. See, there's a little hole here. I will put it flat for you guys to see, and I will grab like 1 stitch every 2 stitch. one stitch every 2 stitch, just 1 stitch away from the old. Like this, and I do around it like that, there, and then I will just tighten those 2 tails, and voila, it's magic, it's gone. There. And then you hide all your tail. When the hiding is done, it's time to sew your little thumbs. So you bring that back your thumbs, you grab 1 full stitch, and you will sew it horizontal and vertical. So I grab a full stitch on the thumbs like this, and only 1 bar on the mitten. A full stitch here, only 1 bar on the mitten. Oh boy, need a coffee? Okay, a full stitch here and 1 bar over there. Make sure you don't tighten it right now, because it's better to try it before you finish and do your knot. So grab a full stitch here and 1 bar here, not 1 bar, you go a full stitch in when you get to the middle of it, and then you go back full stitch and then 1 bar, full stitch, 1 bar. So I continue almost at the end. Time to finish it correctly. Make sure you don't lose any stitches. Not losing, but miss one. Another full stitch on the thumbs. And I will pull on one side and on the other side. Very carefully, because you don't want to stretch too much and twist your thumbs, and too tight to put your finger in it. So always test it, put your finger in it like I did, and you do a very gentle knot, and then you do a tighter one on the top. So it's time to hide those 2 tails between the 2 layers of the thumbs like this. Cut it, and voila, you did it. There. So that mitten will be like for 8 or to 10 years old. I have a very small hand and it fit me, so voila, that was the pattern for today. You could also wear it like this. It's up to you.